It's that time of year again, and no, I don't mean the end part of February where I inevitably catch a terrible cold that ultimately lingers through the rest of the winter and through the early part of spring, leaving me a mucousy, sniffly mess. Because no, I'm not going through that right now. If anyone says I'm congested, they're lying. It's time for our yearly March Musical Madness bracket. This is actually our 4th annual bracket. It's been a long-standing tradition here on the channel, primarily because I love sports and I'm so good at them. You know the drill. 16 musicals will compete head-to-head, getting eliminated in each round until only one show remains, making it the ultimate March Musical Madness champion. Thanks to Pretty Litter for sponsoring today's video. Who's at the top of your March Musical Madness bracket? Play along in the comments down below. So there's still one big question you might be asking. You might be saying, Kat, which musicals will be competing this year? How will you decide which shows will go up against each other? And frankly, I think I've figured out the single most scholarly and scientific way to determine this. The cats will decide. I've got a bunch of index cards of different titles of Broadway musicals, and I'm thinking I'm gonna spread these all around the living room, and then I'm going to have the cats decide by like touching the index cards, and whichever cards they touch are which shows are going to compete head to head. Put an Evita right over here on the carpet, nice little carpet Evita. Nice little upside down carpet Evita.
A carpet Evita.
Carpet Evita.
Coming this fall.
Oh no.
Well, they're definitely not gonna get to that one.
They don't have hands. This is where we keep all the Tupperware.
And secrets.
Like all the secret Tupperware. Annie Cabaret. Ah! Legally Blonde. Or like Lethally Blonde. Am I right? Woo! Which musicals do you think the cats will choose? Because they absolutely know what these different things are and the meaning between them.
Scout's definitely gonna pick Carrie.
Now, are we thinking Carrie the original cast or Carrie 2012? Because one of them's like a fun rock musical and the other's like a liability.
I think she'll go for the liability.
Probably that. Okay, let's grab the stick. Oh! I start to open the closet door and look who comes out.
This is fun.
Okay, you kids. It's time for March Musical Madness. Are we ready to take this seriously? Andrew Lloyd Webber, Rodgers and Hammerstein, all across the board. Let's go, let's go. Got our first choices right here. Oh, and we have our first pick. What is it? It is Mean Girls.
Good pick, Louis.
Louis just really loves Casey Nicholaw shows. Okay, in the middle of 3 shows.
Who's gonna do it first?
Oh,
there we go.
And we've got Scooter with Legally Blonde. Stepping on card. I'm stepping on.
Les Miserables.
I see a Scooter down there too.
Oh, and let's touch a card, Scooty. We're gonna need a card. We're gonna need to touch a card. Oh, and in. Louis has sniffed Les Miserables.
Les Miserables.
Wait, can you say it again one more time so everyone knows how to pronounce it?
Sure, it's.
Les Miserables.
What's Sondheim?
Oh, that seems like a pretty firm decision there.
Oh, everybody loves Louis.
That's fitting. He would pick that.
Yeah. Oh, and he's running away with his prey.
Just the way Louis ran away with Dot.
Yeah, wow. You're on your Sondheim. Also, can we talk about how the P for parade that I wrote looks exactly like the Panera logo? She just chose Annie.
Little orphan Scooty.
Louis an orphan.
So does that make me Daddy Warbucks?
I didn't like the way that sounded at all.
I don't think I did either.
What's it gonna be, Scooty? Grease, Beetlejuice, George Santos's Spider-Man Turn Off the Dark. Oh my god, what happened to this little worm? Hey babe, would you still love me if I was a tiny little neon worm at the end of a cat toy?
I thought you'd never ask. Of course I would.
Wow. Get you a man who can do both. A normal guy and a guy who's really into neon worms. Okay, Guppy, a couple of choices here before you. Hadestown, we've got Hairspray, we've got Sweeney Todd, we've got George Santos's Spider-Man Turn Off the Dark, we've got Beetlejuice, and he wants none of them? Oh, and Heather. Sweeney Todd versus Into the Woods. We've got Sweeney Todd. We've got Into the Woods. For the championship, little Lou.
Decisions. Oh, looks like he picked Into the Woods just now.
Is this your final decision, Lou?
Oh, no, he took it back.
Sweeney? Do you want Sweeney? Sweeney sniff of approval? Sweeney sniff of approval.
Sounds like a euphemism. Oh.
Guess we're grabbing both. Is it because you're a baker?
You know you love birds. Ek, birdie.
Do we have one more? The last 5 years! The last 5 years! Well, I am out of breath, and that was super fun. Wait, thanks for helping, kids. Thanks for helping my poopy guy. If you guys have a poopy guy, I feel like now would be a perfect time to thank today's sponsor. That's a transition I wasn't anticipating ever saying. But if you've got a poopy guy, here you go. Hi. I might have a terrible cold, but you know what's super hot? Today's sponsor? Pretty Litter, the smartest, easiest, and prettiest way to monitor your cat's health. It sounds like I'm flirting with it. Pretty Litter ships for free across the US and arrives to your doorstep on a subscription based on your litter needs. Pretty Litter is super lightweight because instead of traditional clay litter, they use silica gel crystals. It's super absorbent too, so you never end up with that like moist cat bathroom smell. Pretty Litter smells infinitely better because it doesn't clump together. That means less scooping for me, lighter bags when you switch them out, and longer lasting litter. Try saying that 3 times fast. The coolest thing about Pretty Litter, of course, is that it changes color when your cat uses it. And not just to make potty time more entertaining, it can help monitor your cat's health. Pretty Litter has a different reaction to different elements present in your cat's pee, causing it to turn the litter a specific color, based on levels of acidity, alkalinity, or the presence of blood. It gives me peace of mind knowing that I have a tool that can help detect early signs of potential illness, especially when it comes to UTIs or kidney problems, which are notoriously a major issue for many cats. Needless to say, I absolutely recommend Pretty Litter. It helps keep my cats healthy and keeps odors down. So if you want to try it out, go to prettylitter.com/catsteele to get 20% off your first order. Thanks again to Pretty Litter for sponsoring this segment. And now, back to the video. And welcome back. I'm your hardcore gamer girl, getting ready to do some hardcore gaming. We've got 16 musicals on the board competing for the title of the 4th annual March Musical Madness Victor. If you win March Madness, you have to change your name to Victor. Number 4. Not the 4th, ampersand 4. Let's get into the game, my hardcore gamers. First up, we've got Mean Girls versus Grease. And I don't know about you, but I feel like, I'm so sorry. I feel like this is a very easy answer for me. Please let me know if I'm completely alone in this thought process, but the older I get, the more Grease almost kind of icks me out. I think every time I've seen Grease on stage, a lot of the dialogue is executed in kind of like a cringy, gross way. But the older I get, the more I just kind of like want to watch the movie once a year and forget about the rest. Except for You're the One That I Want. That was an iconic show. Can we please bring back competition reality elimination shows? Just kidding, there are so many of those. What am I saying? I just meant like theater-based ones, but also, it's fine. We don't need more reality shows. Sweeney Todd versus Into the Woods. Oh my gosh, that's really tough. I think I'm gonna have to vote Sweeney Todd because overall, I think the story, the music, everything is going to be more compelling in the average production. However, a really good production of Into the Woods can be life-altering. But I feel like it's really contingent on how people interpret the characters, what type of message they're trying to convey, if they understand what type of message they're trying to convey. Wow, that was so deep. I'm like, so deep. Okay, Company versus Cats. That's so not fair. Company's one of my favorites. Cats is just something else. I adore the choreography. If you haven't seen a production of Cats on stage, I think there's maybe a couple of different pro shots, but there's definitely at least one. See if you can watch one of those. But even still, I just can't get behind it. I do kind of want to watch the 2019 Fever Dream again.
People teeth.
I feel like it would almost work better in like an animated form or maybe like a written form, like a series of short stories or poems. Someone should try that. Carrie 2012 versus Legally Blonde. That's actually really tough. Holy cow. God, could I just make it a tie? What if we just combine the two? What if we gave Elwood's pyrokinetic abilities? I think I'm gonna have to give this round to Legally Blonde. Oh, last 5 years in Sunday in the Park with George. Got a couple of male artists who are just so complicated. I definitely want to make a video on the last 5 years, by the way. That has been gnawing at me. I've got a lot of pent up feelings and thoughts on that, so let me know if you want a video on the last 5 years. I did just see Sunday in the Park with George over at the Pasadena Playhouse, and it was a gorgeous production. We had Christina Alabato as Dot, and she was phenomenal. And I love the way that she saw Dot as a muse, almost in like a Penny Lane-esque way. And that was my first time ever seeing Sunday in the Park with George live. I do think I have to give it to the last 5 years. I'm sorry. JRB. JRB. Carousel versus Annie. So this is actually a very painfully easy one for me. I think because I just kind of missed the train on being young enough to be in Annie. Like I didn't really get into musical theater until a little bit later in life. And by later in life, I mean 11. So I never like developed the fondness for Annie that I think a lot of people hold in their heart. And I love Carousel. What can I say? I'm a golden age girly. Heathers versus Waitress. I really love Heathers. It is so fun. I'm a sucker for like a campy 80s. I think I am going to have to give this round to Waitress. Les Mis versus Hadestown. Oh, geez. I feel like Les Mis is always my default answer when someone asks what my favorite musical is, so I feel like I should move that one forward. However, Hadestown is so beyond gorgeous. I caught the national tour last year and it was phenomenal. It was the last musical I saw on Broadway before the pandemic, but I think my long-term love of Les Mis is going to beat this out. Okay, round 2. So between Mean Girls and Sweeney Todd, it's gonna have to be Sweeney Todd for me. I adore Mean Girls though, and I'm so excited for the movie. At first, I also thought that it was maybe a little bit overkill. Like, do we need a movie of a musical of a movie inspired by a book? But now that we get Renee Rapp and Jenna Fisher and Busy Phillips, it's a really stacked cast. So I'm actually really looking forward to the Mean Girls movie. That being said, Sweeney Todd moves forward. Between Company and Legally Blonde, I feel like Company's a little bit meatier to analyze. There's a lot of material there to go through with a fine-tooth comb. I guess I just really love giving myself homework, but for that reason, I'm gonna have to go with Company, and for those reasons, Legally Blonde is out. Boop boop, boop boop. Do you guys watch Shark Tank? Okay, last 5 years versus Carousel. Oh no. Just 2 healthy relationships. So normal. Going back to liking homework and really liking meaty material, I think that's one of the things that really bums me out about Carousel. It almost feels like a little thin. I wish they had expanded more, and I know that obviously that wasn't the style at the time. Anyway, last 5 years wins. Okay, Waitress and Les Mis. Between the two, going with my gut instinct, I think I gotta say Les Mis. I love the music. I'm a sucker for like a grand sweeping story. It's gotta be Les Mis. Getting down into the finals here, Sweeney Todd versus Company, last 5 years versus Les Mis. Even though I am seemingly the world's biggest Company fan, I'm gonna be honest here, I think the book for Sweeney Todd is a lot stronger. Traditionally, I'm not even a really big fan of like vignette style shows. I love all the different characters in Sweeney and how deep they go. Have any of you guys seen The Revival with Josh Groban and Jordan Fisher? Oh my gosh, I could have told you the text that I got from my mom.
It's like me. No!
When I put up that video dreamcasting The Revival, and I was like, who do I put as Anthony? I kid you not, in all caps, she just sends me, Jordan Fisher, Jordan Fisher! She's been a long-term Jordan Fisher stan. When we went to that thing for Rent Live. Okay, last 5 years versus Les Mis. I feel like it gets so tough, especially when we get down into the finals, because we're obviously comparing things that are so incomparable, but that's the point of the silly game. It's to have a silly game fun time to do silly games. You know, as much as I love the last 5 years, I think I definitely gotta hand it off to Les Mis. Okay, down to Sweeney versus Les Mis. Gosh, I kind of want to give it to Sweeney, but have I done that before? You know, going back to the Into the Woods thing, I feel like with Les Mis, it's really up to the performers that you have in it, but it's really contingent on their interpretation and analysis. So I think I'm gonna have to hand it off to Sweeney Todd. Here we go, let's hit submit. Sweeney Todd, Sweeney Todd, Sweeney Todd.
And that is a wrap on our 4th annual March Musical Madness bracket. If you played along, let me know who won your bracket in the comments down below. If you're new here, hit subscribe. Join the musical theater internet cult. Did I not mention that earlier? Because we're 10,000% an internet cult. Thanks again to Pretty Litter for sponsoring today's video. If you want to check it out, go to prettylitter.com/catsteele to get 20% off your first order. I hope you're having a great day. I love you so much. Break a leg, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.